Canadian forces began a combat mission in Kandahar in 2006, battling the Taliban in the south. The mission lasted 5 years and proved costly, as Master Corporal Natasha Dupuis discovered in 2008. She was in a convoy when an IED blew up the vehicle ahead, killing 2 soldiers and severely injuring 3 more.
When it happened, my team and I were first responders on that incident. While I was approaching the scene, it was obvious that not everybody had made it. The whole incident, from explosion to their air evacuation, lasted about 20 minutes, so it's very fast, everything, but it appeared more like an hour to me.
Made worse, Dupuis quickly realized that 2 of her closest team members were dead. She, Corey Hayes, and Jack Boutelier had been virtually inseparable. Now she couldn't recognize them.
I was seeing body parts, so when I've never even seen anything like this, everybody kind of started panicking. I remember hearing my teammates screaming, looking for some of our guys and not finding them.
And Dupuis still had to do her job.
It was really, really difficult. I remember having to stop for a second and think to myself, okay, Nat, keep your head in the game, practice, and let's do this, because it was horrible. Right away, myself, I was sick from all the images, and it was like too much. Physically sick. Then I went on and I did not sleep for 3 days. Impossible to sleep because my head was spinning, and I was seeing all them image over and over.
While not physically hurt, inside, Dupuis was shattered.
So there was 2 months left to that mission, and I did finish the whole rotation. When I look back, I really don't know how I did it. I think the stress, the adrenaline, and there's this feeling where you don't want to let down your teammates, so I did manage to finish. But when I got back to Canada, it's when everything fell apart. That stress, that adrenaline went down, and so did I.
It wasn't until she rotated back to Canada that she could take off her mental armor. She went straight to a staff psychiatrist who diagnosed her with PTSD.
I was having crying spells, flashbacks, insomnia, nightmares. I couldn't function at all, like making food for myself was too much of a task. Within those few years, I think I was only surviving. That's all that matters. To tell you the truth, I thought life had no more to offer. I knew I was losing my career, lost my identity, because a big part of me was my military career.
Dupuis knew she needed help, so she found and then joined Soldier On, a program supporting injured and ill Canadian Forces members through adaptive sports, and a Team Canada sponsor for the Invictus Games.
They provide a very safe environment, non-judging environment to exchange with other ill and injured that have gone through similar experiences. In my recovery, I was often scared to be seen having a breakdown, so I just stayed home.
Dupuis' journey is ongoing. But as co-captain for Team Canada at this year's Invictus Games, she's back in command of her life, a strong leader for others to follow. For Major Simon Mailloux, Team Canada's co-captain for Invictus, the story is as similar as it is different. Mailloux was on a night mission in Kandahar in 2007 when an IED ripped his command vehicle apart.
If I could describe it, a bomb is nothing like we see in the movies. It's not a big flame, it's just a big pressure heat wave in your face. And that's all I remember from the event itself. After that, I woke up, I was on the ground. I felt like I got beaten up by people. I felt like I was out of it. I lifted my head and I saw the back of the vehicle I was in torn apart. I saw bodies inside, unfortunately. And quite quickly, though, the fire started inside the vehicle. We were carrying so much ammo, it started to catch fire. So my driver dragged me on the ground and brought me behind a concrete wall so I could be safe, because it started to explode, actually, at that point. I didn't know then, my jaw was fractured, my leg was in tatters. But other than that, I was looking for my rifle, I was looking for my pistol. I was trying to get back in control of the situation, but I was in and out of consciousness. It was hard to do.
The explosion killed 3 of his men and literally tore a piece of him away.
I remember the evacuation. I remember a Black Hawk helicopter lifting us up. I was out of it after that, completely. I woke up in Germany. I evacuated in one of the hospitals the Americans have over there. First thing you do is a pat check. You check what you got, and long and behold, there's something missing.
Like Dupuis, Mailloux knew he needed help. His recovery strategy was built on returning to active duty, no matter what.
I left Kandahar on a stretcher, yelling to my guys, "I'll be back, just wait for me." You know, I thought I was gonna take 2 weeks, patch it up and be back. It took 2 years. I had unfinished business over there. I needed to get it done. I needed to come back.
Incredibly, he returned to Afghanistan, the first Canadian amputee to go back into active combat duty.
And when we arrived at Kandahar Airfield, actually, the first foot that touched down at the tarmac over there was a prosthetic. So I said, you know, maybe that's going to bring me some luck. But I was back on a convoy 2 weeks later. So things are going, and the mission needs to go on.
Mailloux is a platoon commander for the Royal 22nd Regiment, the Vendus, based in Valcartier, Quebec. He says his struggle and recovery lends reassurance to those he now leads.
Every time I was going to the gym in shorts or something, and some people saw that. They felt like we had something strong going on. It reassured them that if something happened to them, the worst happened to them, they were going to be taken care of.
He didn't get there alone. The Soldier On program helped Mailloux through athletics and support. And high-tech prosthetics allow him to do things he never could have imagined. This year, in the Toronto Games, he's running the 100, 200, and 400-meter races. Mailloux is proud of his accomplishment, but he's eager to share the credit with his wife.
You can't do this alone. She was my rock. Whenever I needed help coming back from a bad day, she was always there. And she accepted that I was a crazy man, that I wanted to go back to Afghanistan on one leg. Just, you know, saying it out loud sounds a bit crazy, but she said, yeah, okay, if that's what you want, we'll do it.
Each of these leaders, chosen as co-captains for Invictus, has fought to overcome a devastating injury. One internal, one physical. Proof, they say, that with help, injured soldiers can and do carry on. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Toronto.